if the $20 billion is insufficient. BP has agreed to replenish the fund. So it is not a capped $20 billion. And it is not $20 billion just for claims. There are other purposes that will be served with these funds. But the $20 billion is not all there is if more is needed. Next, I can't help any of you if you don't file a claim. I only can get involved if you see the wisdom and have the foresight to file a claim with this program. Now, you go to your local claim office. In about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you'll be able to do it online if you want, all electronically with your computer. But if you don't want to do it with a computer online, go to the local claim office. We'll have the list. Darrell probably knows it by heart. We'll have the list of claim offices. Go to the claim office, fill out a claim. Now, when you fill out a claim, you'll need to give the claims manager, a local person, corroboration of your claim. You'll have to say, I'm out of work and I'm losing $5,000 a month in wages. Here is evidence of the $5,000. Here is my checkbook. Here is my employee canceled check. Here is my evidence that I can. Minimal corroboration. You don't have to be an accountant. Minimal corroboration of your claim. That claim, I assure you, will be immediately processed. Maybe on the spot, maybe a few days, not weeks. But that corroborated eligible claim will be paid promptly. BP's been paying those claims for wage loss fairly quickly. We will accelerate the process not only for individual wages, but where we really need to accelerate the process is business interruption for small businesses who haven't been able to get paid as quickly as they should. So we'll take that claim. We will process that claim, whether it's an individual claim, whether it's a small business claim, whether it's a larger business claim, as long as the claim is eligible, as long as it is corroborated with something that is sufficient, those claims will be processed in a matter of days. In a matter of days. Now, these are emergency payments. When you get this money by filing a claim, there is absolutely no obligation on your part. Mr. Feinberg, when I get this money, do I have to give up my right to sue if I want to go to court? Absolutely not. Do I have to give up other rights? Absolutely not. This money is emergency money designed to tide you over until the leak stops and we can evaluate your long-term needs, which I'll get to in a minute. So there is no obligation that you forfeit by accepting this emergency money. Now, I thought this was a great idea. Darrell and I were talking about how we'll provide people in this room emergency money for 1 month, then you come back another month, and then if you need a third month, well, you know Senator Landrieu. Senator Landrieu took me aside and said, why are you making people come back every month? Why don't you provide them a lump sum, certain payment for 3 months or 4 months or 5 months? It is always wise to listen to Senator Landrieu. And that is exactly what this new facility plans to do. That makes more sense. Why not? This emergency is going to last a while. The oil is still flowing. Why not come up with a more efficient mechanism so that people don't have to come back month to month? They may want to. They may want to come back month to month. I can give you an example of somebody that wants to come back month to month. Mr. Feinberg, I need $5,000. That's what I'm earning. That's what I've lost. And next month, $5,000. But after that, my business is seasonal. I would have earned $7,000 or $8,000 a month. Well, you may not want a lump sum payment for $5,000. You may prefer to come back. That's your option. That's your option. But the important point is that these emergency payments will be available with minimal but necessary minimal corroboration without any obligation on your part. Now, what happens after the leak stops? And now we have a better handle on the nature of the damage. I anticipate the following. Each of you who received emergency assistance will now come to the facility to see me. And we will try and calculate what your long-term loss is. Not just right now, but for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 3 years. Not easy to do. A murky crystal ball. But we did it in 9/11. We did it in Agent Orange. We'll do it here. Mr. Jones, your business has suffered as a result of the leak. We calculate that for probably 2 years, your business is going to be curtailed by 60%. We will give you a choice. A choice. You can either take this check from the Gulf facility in the amount of, $28,000, $92,000, $68,000. You can take that check. If you take the check, think it over. Better talk it over with your husband and your wife. Think it over. You can take this check. But if you take the check, you sign this piece of paper. That's full satisfaction of your claim. You can't sue BP. That is your voluntary choice. The facility will be very generous. The facility will bend over backwards, as the senator said, to give you total compensation for your loss. You're going to have to document that loss. You're going to have to corroborate that loss. But if you want this check, here it is. And in return, now, unlike the emergency payments, now you sign, you will not sue. My objective here is to convince everybody. Enter the fund. There's no obligation. Get emergency funding. There's no obligation. Ultimately, down the road, 60, 90 days, 120 days, 6 months from now, take this check. We think it's fair. Think it over. Talk to your family, your lawyer, your accountant, your priest, your rabbi. Take the check, and only then give up your right to litigate. If you decide that you don't like the amount, that you'd rather hire a lawyer and litigate, go ahead. You don't have to make that choice till you see what the amount is. Should you litigate? Is it a good idea? Absolutely not. It's a mistake. It's a mistake to litigate. But that's your choice. If you litigate, years of litigation, years, you may not win in your litigation against BP. And if you do win, wonderful. Give 40% to your lawyer. So my advice, I love the trial lawyers. I'm a lawyer myself. My advice is this facility, this program that's been established, which I hope and pray will be very, very claimant friendly. I believe that what BP has done with this administration is absolutely the right way to go. And I will ask Senator Landrieu and everybody in this parish president, everybody, to encourage all of you to at least file the claim. Because I can't do a thing if you don't file. And what we're going to be doing with Darrell over the next few weeks, not months, is make it even easier to file. Electronically, in person, we'll beef up the support staff. Darrell's done, and BP has done, an excellent job so far. There's a great deal more to be done. Now, a few other points, then we'll take questions. What are the problems with this program? What are the challenges? I don't like to use the word problem, but what are the challenges that we confront? Well, one challenge is it would sure be nice if the oil stopped leaking. It's very, very difficult to come up with a long-term program to try and calculate your ultimate damage if the oil's still flowing. Mr. Feinberg, I have an oyster bed. Right now, it's safe. There's no oil there yet. But I can't come up with a long-term damage forecast because tomorrow the oil may still be spilling and it'll reach my oyster bed. So as long as the oil is spilling, it's very, very difficult to sit with any of you and calculate your long-term damage because you don't know when the oil's going to stop. That's problem number one in terms of a challenge. That's one problem. Then there's a second very fascinating problem. It's a very real problem, and that is this. Do I have a valid claim if my damage is an indirect result from the spill? You know, it's one thing if you're a shrimper or a fisherman or you own a motel on the water. Those claims are relatively straightforward. Relatively straightforward. Mr. Feinberg, I own a restaurant in Boston. And I have the best shrimp scampi in the city. And I get my shrimp from Louisiana. Now I can't get that shrimp. And you know what? My clientele aren't coming to the restaurant. Where's my money? Now you see, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's one thing if Louisiana residents are the direct victims of this spill. What makes my job a little bit more complicated is when you start getting indirect claims from 48 other states. You know, I make T-shirts for this guy in Mobile, Alabama. We love Mobile. That guy can't get those T-shirts. Nobody loves Mobile these days. So I'm not making T-shirts in Boston, Massachusetts for this. Where's my money? You see, those claims are going to be much more complicated.